Mumonkan, Case 37, Joshu's Oak Tree. A monk asked Joshu, "What is the meaning of Bodhidharma's coming to China?" Joshu said, "The oak tree in the garden." Mumon's comment: if you understand Joshu's answer intimately, there is no Shakyamuni Buddha before you and no Maitreya Buddha to come. Mumon's verse: words cannot express things. Speech cannot convey the spirit. Swayed by words, one is lost. Blocked by phrases, one is bewildered. As already mentioned in previous episodes, the question, "What is the meaning of Bodhidharma coming to China?" is a question asked by many Zen monks in several koans. The question basically corresponds to what is the deeper meaning of Buddhism, or what is the deeper meaning of life, or what is consciousness, or what is Buddha nature, or even who am I? In fact, it would not be fitting for a Zen master to start giving a historical explanation about the reasons why Patriarch Bodhidharma traveled from India to China in the 6th century AD. It was just common knowledge at that time and in Zen circles that the question conveyed a deeper thirst to the truth, not some kind of interest in details about history. So you can compare this a little bit with asking a guru or a roshi or a swami the question, "Who am I?" And in that case, you would not expect this person telling you, "Oh, you are Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, you have blonde, black or brown hair, or you have such and such a height, and you weigh such an amount of kilograms." You would not expect that kind of an answer. What you really want to know is a true deep answer about your true nature. And most gurus, roshis or swamis would well understand that. And it's the same thing with these questions about why did Bodhidharma come from India to China. They were not expecting some silly answers about, "Oh, he didn't like it in India anymore, so he moved to China." No. This question just conveyed a deeper one about what is consciousness, what is Buddha nature, what is the true meaning of Buddhism. So, in short, we have a monk here basically asking Joshu, what is the meaning of life? Or what is consciousness? And as a reply, Joshu says, "The oak tree in the garden." There are many texts you can find about Zen where this example of this koan is given to illustrate how irrational and how incomprehensible Zen Buddhism is. The oak tree in the garden? In those texts, you can read that consciousness cannot be captured in words, and hence it is okay to say whatever. Whatever, to startle you so you would stop asking questions which cannot be answered with the thinking mind. That is what you would find in many of these texts. Similar examples are given, like the question is, what is Buddha? 3 pounds of flax. Or what is Buddha? A shit wiping stick. Or what is Buddha? The oak tree in the garden. Or what is Buddha? Peekaboo. Or what is Buddha? It's Pinocchio. Whatever, it's okay because you cannot capture it in words anyway, and so that's how they explain this kind of koans. They just want to illustrate how irrational it is, and just to throw off the questioner, to convey something that cannot be conveyed through any rational thinking. But is that really a satisfying answer to this koan? Probably not. The questioner will probably get frustrated and will certainly not gain any insight at all. So a part of this aspect, this irrational aspect to this response, what else could Joshu have meant when he said the oak tree in the garden? What was he trying to convey? Let's get a little deeper into that. If you take a scientific view of a tree, you would probably be able to describe it by providing some of the parts of it. For example, from a time aspect, you could say that you go from a seed, which then grows a small root and a little twig comes out, and then the stem sprouts, and then you get a mature tree, and then after many more years the tree finally withers and dies. That's from the time perspective. And from the space perspective, you could then also, from the scientific point of view, describe that there are roots in the soil, a big trunk there, then branches, many of them, leaves, even more of them, and then flowers, and then seeds, and you can give all these descriptions. Or you can focus your explanations on some other characteristics, maybe the chemical balance of the tree, or the water balance. There are many ways that science could describe this tree, but the question is, does that really describe the deeper being of a tree? Not from all the aspects we see from the outside, but from the perspective of the tree itself. I'm going to give exactly the same description of a human being. Science would describe the human being as being this body-mind, and in time we can describe several phases. We evolve from an embryo, we become a baby, then we become a child, and then an adult, we become old, and in the end of the story we die. You can describe it from that point of view. In space, you can describe the various body parts we have. We have feet, we have legs, we have a belly, we have back, we have arms, neck, face, eyes, ears, and not so much hair in my case, of course. Or more scientific studies can examine our breath, our thoughts, and analyze our thoughts, our feelings, and analyze our feelings, our character traits, etc., etc. But does that describe the deeper being of what I am, of what you, the viewer, are? Same. What science is providing us here is just from the outside perspective. They are giving descriptions of how we look from the outside, and the I am, the being that I am, is completely missed. If we stay at this scientific level of examining a tree or a human being, we will never be able to understand Joshu's "the oak tree in the garden." You will not be able to clarify it. In order to clarify it, we need to dive into what our true nature is, what our presence of awareness is, in order to understand this koan. So let's do that. Let's dive into this together with a meditation exercise. You can keep your eyes open to watch the screen before you, or you can close them, whichever you prefer. And I suggest you just sit comfortably. First, focus on your body. Try to sense the tensions that you can feel within the body. They can be here, they can be there, but somehow you are aware of these tensions. And since you are aware of the tensions in your body, you are not these tensions, nor are you this body which you are aware of. Think about that. Or let's focus for a moment on the sense perception. We have sight, but you're aware of these sights. You have sounds, but you're aware of these sounds. You have sense perceptions like smell, taste, but you are aware of those as well. So since you are aware of those, you are not your sense perceptions, you are that which is aware of that. You are that presence in which they come and go. Or take another example, your breath. In and out. But something is again aware of the breath. In other words, you are not your breath, since you can be aware of it. You are presence in which the breath comes and goes. We can do the same with thoughts. Thoughts can be seen by you. They tell a little story in front of you, and you are aware of your thought in your presence. So you are not your thoughts. You are that presence that is aware of it. You can do the same with feelings. Sometimes feelings come up which can be pleasant or unpleasant, and then they go. but they are still being seen. And since they come and go, and the seer of your feelings is not, you are not those feelings, you are that presence which is always there. Or desires, which is a particular kind of feeling. Your desires are also to be noticed by presence. So again, you are not your desires. Same with intentions. I want to become this. I want to do that. Your intentions are also being noticed in presence. Are you your desires and intentions, or are you that presence in which they come and go? Same with judgments. Same with attitudes. Your attitudes vis-à-vis this, vis-à-vis that, they can be seen by you in presence. So you are not judgments, attitudes. Or the famous controller. I'm the controller and I'm the one guiding my life in such and such a way, and the other people around me too. Feel this controller in you. But are you that? As the controller can be noticed by you, it means you are not this controller either. You are the presence in which controller comes and goes. Even the one making efforts to understand this. See this one who tries and who makes efforts to understand this. See it from your background, from your presence, in which this efforting comes and goes. I'm inventing new words here. What about time? Time also can be noticed in your presence. It happens in your presence. You can see the clock click, 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 click in your presence. Are you the time, or are you the presence in which time can flow? And what about time? What about the past? Are you the past, and are you memories from the past? These are just thoughts coming up in the now. You are not the past. The past is just a fleeting thought in presence, in the now. And the same with the future. The future about what's going to happen tomorrow or in 6 months is again a thought that comes and goes in presence, in the now. Now, when you eliminate one after the other all these phenomena that come and go, you may notice that the sense of presence starts to become more apparent, more prominent. This sense of presence tends to offer a kind of a perfume in the here and now. Let's do another small exercise. And I would like you to use a little bit more your imagination here. Try to imagine being a tree. Sounds a bit weird, but using your imagination you can very well achieve this. Focus on the roots. You, the tree, are you the roots? Or are you the presence of the tree in which roots come and go? Imagine being the trunk of the tree. You, the tree, are you the trunk? No. You are tree presence in which the trunk can appear. Try with the branches. Be the branches, but are you really the branches, or are you tree presence which can notice branches? What about the flowers of the tree? You, the presence of the tree, can notice the flowers, but that's not what you are. You are the presence, the tree presence, in which flowers can appear. And the same with fruits. Are you the fruits? Or again, tree presence in which fruits come and go. What about the sound of the wind in the branches? Are you that sound that the wind creates in you? Or are you tree presence which can notice the sound of the wind? Or the fragrance. Are you this fragrance that the tree emanates? Or are you that which can notice this tree fragrance? So when you, the tree, eliminate one after the other phenomena that comes and go, the sense of presence starts becoming more apparent, more prominent. And the same as with a human being, the present tends to offer a perfume in the here and now. That perfume of tree presence can be sensed by your human presence, as in fact they are one and the same. So from outside appearances, a human and a tree are very different. But from the inside, from presence point of view, the perfumes are just the same. And isn't this why we get enchanted by the stillness of the oak tree in the garden? Because the tree's presence is the same as our presence. And that is what Joshu tried to communicate. Mumon's comment. If you understand Joshu's answer intimately, there is no Shakyamuni Buddha before you and no Maitreya Buddha to come. Shakyamuni, you know probably, is the historical Buddha of the past, and Maitreya Buddha is the one that is expected to come in several hundreds or thousands of years. But notice that in presence, there is no past, there is no future, except in thought. You can have a thought of the past now, or you can have a thought of the future now, but you can never leave the now. Your presence is always here. And that is what is then meant, that if you intimately understand Joshu's tree in the garden, that you are presence, the same presence as the tree's presence, that there is no more past Buddha or future Buddha. Mumon's verse: words cannot express things. Speech cannot convey the spirit. Swayed by words, one is lost. Blocked by phrases, one is bewildered. When you are presence, there is no room for words. Words and phrases cannot fit in the now. That's why we cannot really convey anything through long explanations, through long sentences. You can only be that presence, not talk about it. Just like the oak tree in the garden. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. And be present.